Hoo, 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 hoo. What's up, family? We back in the building, man. It's your homeboy, Love from the Go. All right, so the internet has been set ablaze ever since President Donald Trump commuted the sentence of Larry Hoover, man. All right. Y'all all know about it because I'm pretty sure I know my crowd. Most of y'all, though, not most of y'all, rather, but some of y'all don't know about it. So I'm gonna tell y'all, man. It's been this white boy. He go by the name of 1090 Jake, man, but I call him Fat Boy Bobby Hill. You know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly who that nigga looked like, man. Bobby fucking Hill, man. The big, tubby ass, bacon and egg sandwich eating ass nigga, man. 1090 Jake, man. You crossed the line. See, talking about rappers being snitches is one thing, right? But when you talking about real people, that's why I stopped making videos about certain individuals. I'm gonna tell y'all that. I stopped making videos about certain individuals because I felt the pain. I felt it. I said, you know what, Lo? This video ain't right, man. The way you disrespecting people, uh, we really need to take a different approach. And that's what I did, man. But 1090 Jake, he can't take different approaches. He got to take the same approach, man. All right, so he came with this video talking about Larry Hoover. And just like I said, a long time ago, 1090 Jake must have got his ass whooped by some GDs, bro. And that's exactly what happened because the man actually admits it. He got his ass whooped, handed to him by some GDs, bro. Real talk. He admits it in several videos. But with this happening, it's all starting to make sense because I didn't give a shit about that. But now you're talking about a Chicago legend, the original Chicago legend, Larry Hoover, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. WC in the Mayor's Circle before he actually hooked up with Ice Cube, Dub C from out west, man, from the west side with Ice Cube. Before he hooked up with him, man, he came to Chicago. And guess who he asked me about? I was in the record store at that time. This was back in the 90s, man. We still had record stores. Guess who he asked me about? He ain't asked me about Jeff Ward. He ain't asked me about Walter Wheat. He ain't asked me about nobody, man. He asked me about Larry Hoover, man. Niggas from the West Coast asking a Chicago nigga about Larry Hoover, man. He didn't ask about nobody. He ain't want to know about King David. He ain't want to know about Shorty. He said, what's up with Hoover? Right? All right, man. So this is definitely a Chicago legend. He's always been a Chicago legend. And we ain't finna let 1090 steak, eggs, and fries, you know what I'm saying, come at one of our legends, bro. I'm not finna let a fat ass 1090 steak eating ass nigga talk shit about Larry Hoover, punk. You know what I'm saying? All right, so what I'm finna do is I'm finna get into a couple of videos. Let me explain these videos, right? We got this other white boy. I think his name is Straight Shooter, man. He's coming at Jake, man. He come at him hard, bro. He don't like him, man. He don't like, Jake. He just, it's just something about him that Straight Shooter don't like. So Straight Shooter came out with this video, and I enjoyed the video. So I decided to bring this video to y'all, man. So that's what we finna do. Let me go ahead and bam, 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 pull it up. Let me pull up the video that this guy did about 1090 steaks, eggs, and fries. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's get straight into this video because I ain't got time to play with y'all niggas, man. Check it out.
All right, so for this video, I want to talk to you guys about the most famous fake white Florida blood from Boston, 1090 Steaks, because he's back in the news. And this time he's facing backlash for trying to quote unquote expose legendary Chicago gang leader Larry Hoover for being a rat. And this is really confusing because he just told creepy weirdo Vlad TV that he's not exposing snitches anymore and that he's done with that.
Snitched or how does it work? That's why I don't even, the snitching videos is over with. Like I said, if
and so that was obviously a lie, which is not surprising because Jake is a well-documented liar and storyteller and fraud. But I did want to talk about this new video that he made because it's so stupid. It's just a huge nothing burger. And it's obvious that he only put this video out because Larry Hoover has been in the news lately for getting pardoned by Donald J. Trump. And so this is a huge clout chase. And the documentation Jake uses is newspaper articles. It's not paperwork.
I never knew you could get paperwork that goes this far back, but this is a documented shooting that took place. And, you know, I have the news clippings in this video. Y'all can see it. Y'all can look it up for yourselves. It ain't a secret. It's been out for fucking 57 years.
So this 57-year-old newspaper clipping is the basis for Jake's expose. What? This is just a newspaper article, and it's quoting the police. It's not even, there's no narrative that's signed. It's not an affidavit. It's not a witness statement. This is a newspaper article. And the newspaper article basically says that Larry Hoover got shot by his rival gang members and he got hit in the legs. And
well, let me stop it right there. I just got to say this, man. 1090 Jake, when it all boils down, is 100% white boy. You know what I'm saying? Don't do no crimes around this motherfucker. Please. Don't try to impress 1090 Jake because he's a white boy. He's going to tell. And of course, him being a white boy, he gonna look at this newspaper article just like all the white people across the world look at the news, and he's gonna believe it. He can't help himself. He's a white boy, right?
ended up telling on those people to the police from his hospital bed. Now, I do want everyone to understand that this is a newspaper article from the 1960s in Chicago, and it's the police that are being quoted. This is all just the police telling the newspaper what they say Larry Hoover said. There's no, it's just a bunch of nonsense. You know, the police in Chicago in the 60s was one of the biggest criminal organizations in America. What? You know, the corruption in the 60s with that department is insane. They're not credible at all, and I don't understand why we're even talking about this. And this shooting happened in the middle of the fucking day in the principal's office. What? There were witnesses everywhere. There were multiple bystanders that got hit. There were people telling people stuff all over the place. They picked the guys up minutes after they shot. These guys did not get arrested because of Larry Hoover. The cops are trying to put this on Larry Hoover to try to make him out as a snitch, I think. This is what happened, because it just doesn't make sense that they've got these guys in custody minutes after, and then they go to the newspaper and try and attribute these arrests to like what Larry Hoover told them. Did Larry Hoover take the stand, by the way? Do we have anything that actually, I mean, is there any proof that Larry even said any of this, or are we just going off the cops' words? Because I think it needs to go a little bit further than that if we're going to be labeling someone like Larry Hoover a snitch. Okay, that's crazy. So 1090 Jake puts this video out and people are not happy about it. He's all over the blogs. People are reminding him that he is one of the most famous snitches in the world. What? And it's just not really going very well for him. His video flopped. It only got 150,000 in the first day. So the video is not performing well. It's not lucrative at all. And it's just so funny because he's put himself in a lot of danger for a lot, not a lot of money. And as we all know, Jake has publicly stated that he only does that. He only exposes snitches in the interest of gaining money so that he can support his new relationship. What? And that's true. And so I want to play you this clip of 1090 Jake explaining that I don't care about any of this shit. I only really expose snitches because I need money.
I think people get it confused and they think that I genuinely give a fuck. I don't care.
You're just
YouTube
making content.
Pays me, bro.
Man, and see what he said right there. He don't care, bro. He don't care. He really don't. He's just here to make money. That's all Jake want. He want some shake and steak. He wants some Wendy's, some White Castle. He good. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to see a gym. None of that shit, bro. And we made this man rich, bro. We made him rich.
If I wasn't making money off of this shit, I wouldn't give a fuck.
For sure. So he does this all for money. It's only in the interest of money. And I want to play you some more of this. This is really interesting. This is where it gets really sort of weird when Jake starts lying and then he starts contradicting himself mid-sentence almost. I mean, it's really bizarre. And I want to show you this. So this next clip is going to show Bootleg Kev sort of check 1090 Jake on the fact that he's like sort of destroying people's lives by labeling them a snitch. And he asks Jake how he feels about that. And Jake pretty much denies that these people's careers are affected by his videos. He's like, nobody cares about when I do a video on somebody. Nobody gives a fuck about what I say. I'm just doing what I do so I can get some money.
Drop shit on people that have still maintained their career. Like
all that shit sounds just like a white man, right? I really don't give a shit about the black community. I'm just here to make money. We already know, Jake. We already know. I used to rock with you until this shit, man. I used to rock with him a little bit. But I've never understood why he was stacking them when he started his videos. Like, you fake ass GD. You know what I'm saying? Why are you stacking them? Do Bloods do that? Hell no. They don't stack the boss. Not like the way Jake do it. Y'all know how he stack them. When you first saw Jake, you got to admit you thought he was GD, man. because he was stacking them so hard, right?
Austin Ritchie was one of your famous ones, right?
Yeah.
Affected his career negatively.
Like 6 days after that shit dropped, when I dropped that shit, he got signed for like $6 million.
True.
So who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like people are still gonna have their opinion on that. Like, oh, he gave fake names, whatever. And I can show you what name was real and what name, you know, but it's like, who gives a fuck?
So Jake says nobody gives a fuck. So that, okay, so what he's saying is that when he makes a video about someone labeling them a snitch and getting millions and millions of views and ruining their image, that no one cares about it and that it doesn't really affect the person's career. Now, I want you to pay attention to that. Jake says nobody cares. No one gives a fuck about this. So he's saying that when someone gets labeled a snitch, no one at the end of the day really cares, and that it's not, people are still going to listen to their music and everything else, right? Okay, so minutes later, Bootleg Kev asks Jake.
I got to tell y'all something, right? I was involved with a case back in the 90s, man. Real high profile type shit. I was involved in that case, man. And I had a lawyer. My co-defendants didn't have a lawyer. Bro, I was labeled as a snitch, bro, until the trial came, right? I was labeled as a snitch until the trial came. The paperwork came in. The niggas, my co-defendants, bro, because ain't nobody know what was going on at first. My co-defendants had to come out and say, what? That nigga ain't had no statement, bro. He had no statement. Me, nigga, I had no statement. But let me tell you something. Just because a motherfucker jumped off the deep end and said, wait a minute, something ain't adding up right with this guy. He had to snitch. Bro, that shit kind of tarnished my relationship with my community. But guess what? My peoples beat the case. Oh, yeah, we beat the case, bro. Beat the motherfucking case, and nobody else could say shit. Period. So it does hurt people when you label them a snitch, bro. It does. Trust me. I wouldn't want to get labeled that ever again, bro. I try my best to stay away from situations where I could be labeled as a snitch, my nigga.
Jacob, if there was ever a time when he had paperwork on someone labeling them a snitch that he decided not to make a video about. And Jake says, yes, there is someone that I decided not to make a video about, even though they are a snitch. And listen to the reason why he didn't make the video.
Have you decided to not expose somebody for whatever reason, even though you have shit where you're like, maybe?
Yeah. I got a interrogation video on a big rapper.
Why haven't you dropped it?
Because I know what it's going to turn into. The thing is, I already know that who it is going to get a pass. So why do it?
Yeah, why stir up some shit?
Why stir up some shit that in a fucking, 2 weeks, nobody's going to give a fuck about? And it's just going to cause me more of a pain in the ass than anything. So I don't need the money that bad.
Should be a bullet in the ass,
fuck
bro.
Did I just
Real
he's
talk.
having trouble keeping up with
now
his
that
lies,
you're bringing
isn't
up false
he
information.
just said that he doesn't mind putting the snitch label on people because at the end of the day, no one's going to care about it.
Shit, he got signed for like $6 million.
True.
So who gives a fuck? But it's like, who gives a fuck?
But then he says that he didn't expose Big Sad for being a snitch because no one would care about it. What? And it wouldn't be worth it because no one will care about it.
I already know that who it is going to get a pass. So why do it? Why stir up some shit that in a fucking, 2 weeks, nobody's going to give a fuck about?
But you the king of paperwork, so why not
why
do
are you
it?
exposing Larry Hoover if no one cares about it? It's so stupid. So what the fuck is going on? And Bootleg Kev sitting here like, yeah. But what he's thinking is, man, this guy's stupid. And but he doesn't want to dig in. He's non-confrontational. This is probably why he has the #1 hip hop podcast on the West Coast, because he doesn't like dig into people and like really put people on the spot. But he knows that Jake sounds like a fucking idiot right here. So I just wanted to show you that. Now I do want to move on to this next clip. This is going to be 1090 Jake for the first time letting the world know that he is no longer a blood and that he has dropped his flag and he is an official dropout. Okay, this is really interesting. Look at this.
Like you brought up, I'm a white blood. None of that shit's on my Instagram anymore. All the pictures are taken down. All the fucking, like I turned 30 and I was just like, this shit doesn't serve me. It made sense in prison. Brotherly love overriding oppression and destruction. I'm broke, you're broke. We come together, we eat.
Wow. So he says it only made sense for him to be a blood in prison because, whatever.
Hey, that's why, Not all of them, because we know the terrorists, right? We all know the terrorists. But white guys, bro, looking for protection in prison, they should have to pay for it. They need to get jumped in. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really jumped in, bro. But they need to pay for their protection because he just used the Bloods to survive in prison, and he really wasn't down for the cause. And he was just walking his fat ass around trying to stay safe, covering his butthole. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue.
We eat together. That's not what he's always he's always said that he was a Blood long before he went to prison. But now he's like, it made sense in prison because I really had to show out. I had to show everybody that I was the biggest white boy in the you know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense. I mean, and being a white blood in prison actually puts you in a worse position. It doesn't make sense at all to do that. So he's saying it made sense in prison. No, it didn't. And so Jake's not intelligent enough to actually go on an interview podcast and conduct himself because he's a liar and he can't keep track of his lies.
It made sense in prison. Brotherly love overriding oppression and destruction. I'm broke, you're broke. We come together, we eat. They want to fuck us up. Well, we're going to fuck them up together. You know, out here, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Why am I risking what I got going on to portray? I'm not out here sliding on shit, doing shit, you know? So it doesn't make sense. And then not only that, but
so what people need to understand about 1090 Steak is that he's a goof. What? He's a fucking goof. And he went to prison for a very short amount of time. He was a short timer. He spent like a matter of months and 36 months tops. And it was less than that.
You spent about 36 months in prison altogether?
It was less than that.
It was like 2 years and he couldn't hang. He was telling people that he wanted to, disalive himself so that he can get special treatment and get away from general population. This is something that he said.
So what I did is I took the razor and I cut myself with the razor. And I didn't like I didn't do nothing crazy. I'm literally nicking it, just, forming a long line, just nicking and then pinching my skin so it bleeds a little bit. I took a piece of paper and I wrote, I'm going to kill myself. I wiped my blood all over it. I stuck it on the window. I laid down on my back and I'm just bicycle kicking the door down. Nah, I want to kill myself. They put me in a psych cell, which is a pretty big size room. I got a suicide mat on the floor. This suicide mat, bro, is like the equivalent of a Tempur-Pedic. I don't know if you ever went psych, but this is the thickest, most comfortable mat. So I'm butt naked the whole 21 days in this. Like, I'm really trying to pull this whole psych thing. The whole state of Florida, the psych units were basically on lockdown because they were overpopulated. They couldn't accept any more people, so no one could go. So I wasted my time doing this whole thing.
This nigga Jake was in prison, STD, bro, scared to death. I gotta join a gang, man. The GDs, they gonna beat me up if I want to join them. The Blood's gonna let me right in, man.
Never got sent anywhere.
Wow. So Jake went to great lengths and did everything he could think of to get himself separated away from all of his blood partners. What? He wanted to get shipped off to the puzzle factory to hang out with all the J-Cats and the weirdos. So I'm just wondering where it all made sense for him to, get all these tattoos and all this shit. He's not a Blood. He's just a normal guy that moved from Malden, Massachusetts down to Florida, where he burglarized his own family and got sent to youth prison for a very short amount of time. He was not institutionalized.
Wait a minute. He was in youth prison? This nigga said he was in a joint, man. Is he talking about like Little St. Charles or some shit? This nigga said he was in a joint, man, but he was in the youth system? Okay. This guy got paperwork right here, man. On Jacob Cherry. And we all seen him snitching on the goddamn news. So we know he's a snitch. So you a fake Blood and a fucking snitch.
It didn't change him in any way. He just used this to tell stories and make money on YouTube. What? And he's losing interest in this persona because this new girlfriend that he has wants him to be a country boy. She wants him to, wear jeans and shit kickers and wear a cowboy hat and comb his hair and everything. This is this new direction that Jake's going with his career. He's going to be a country boy.
I'm good. How you doing?
Yo, it's crazy, like seeing you without a hat. Like the last few interviews I've seen, I'm like, yo, you like without the tattoos, like, you know what I mean? Like you look like you could sell mortgages, bro.
Yeah, you think so? I had people saying that shit the other day. They were like, yeah, you really white boy in it right now. But
super white boy. Yeah.
I mean, Jake is actually trying to go country now because of his girlfriend Haley, and it's really interesting to watch. It's extremely cringe. If you go to his Instagram, he's always posting stories of her and what they're doing, and he's always doing some pathetic ass shit. Please go follow 1090 Jake. on Instagram. It's really interesting. And I've actually got a full episode. I think it's like a 2-hour fucking episode on Patreon about his relationship with his girlfriend. I encourage people to go check that out. And I'll actually play you a clip here. No Jumper. So 1090 Jake went on No Jumper and was talking about how disgusting his toes are and how pussy and bloody they were in prison. And I was like, oh my God, he's got disgusting fucking toes.
My toenails were fucking infected from the last prison because of the small ass boots they gave me. So my shit bleeding, pussing. I can't walk. Medical basically told me to go fuck myself. They're not treating me until I get to the next spot. So I can't move. I can't run. I'm basically stationary. So when I get hit, I turn around. I'm like, all right, let's go blade for blade.
So I've always held on to this memory of hearing about Jake's disgusting toenails. And so the other day when I was watching his Instagram, he was posting a story about him and Haley, and they were going kayaking. And we actually got to take a look at these toes. And I want to show you this. Look at that. Look at that big toe. Look at the toenail. Look at the fungi. That's it. You know, him and I thought this was Jala. What? I thought this was Poetic Minyango Jala.
Frederick Jala is my real name.
But it's not. It's 1090 Steak. And ever since I heard that story he told about his toenails being all bloody and fungusy and squirting pus everywhere, I've been extremely interested. I've been watching him like a hawk, trying to find out if, trying to find a photo or footage of these toes. Well, here it is. And he's done a great job of concealing them and hiding them. Look at this photo here. And his girlfriend, Haley, I believe, took this photo. And I think she said, babe, get your feet out of the shot. Get your feet out of the shot. So he's doing this insane spread. And that's a crazy spread. When Jake was busting down, when Jake talks about busting down a spread, this is what he's talking about. What? He's talking about doing the fucking splits to get those toes out of that
He
shot.
roasting his ass.
Too close to the camera, we'd be able to see all that fungi. And as you can see, the perfect shot where the handle of the oar and his hand are covering his nips. So you can't see those either. So this was
that nigga got nipples like a 4-5 slug.
Now I just wanted to point that out because Jake is a cowboy now. He's fully country, and I can guarantee you, I predicted this in the Patreon video. I knew that he was going to go full country, and it's going to be crazy. In like a year from now, if they're still together, he's going to be literally like fully open about country. He's going to be a shit kicker. And I cannot wait for the day when he's doing interviews talking about how he changed his life and now he loves country. He loves going on down them dirt roads with the cold beer and, the country lifestyle. He wants to change his life. He doesn't want to be this white blood anymore, unfortunately. And it's all because of his girlfriend. And he's open about it. He's going to be saying stuff like, so my bitch really changed my mind about the whole gangbanging thing, whatever. And people don't realize this, but I'm really starting to change my life for the better with my new bitch. And I'm singing country music now. I'm doing country stuff. I'm singing the music. I'm loving he's singing country music now to her. I guarantee you he's singing to her. I guarantee he's like, I spent my whole life getting it all wrong, but I sure could use your help just from now on. I want to be a good man.
Hell no.
I do like I should, man. I want to be the kind of man that drops out of the blood.
What the fuck did this nigga just say? This nigga just say Jake finna start singing country music. I want to be a good man that drops out the blood. Hell no. So that nigga Jake gonna be, but I got one thing right. You. Well, no, let me hear that shit one more little time. I want to be a good man.
Out of the blood.
Hell no. Oh, wow. Man, this nigga just went crazy. Oh, Jake. Hold on, let me pull myself up here. Oh, shit. What y'all think about that, man? I thought that was a real song right there for a minute until he said drop out the bloods, man. He want to be a good man. Oh, hell no, man. All right, so that YouTuber right there, I don't know what type of beef he got with 1090 Jake, y'all. I don't know what type of beef he got with him, bro. But that shit was funny as hell, man. I want to be a good man and drop out the bloods. You know what I'm saying? Saying that his girl gonna help him change his life, But guess what, man? We ain't just here to watch that video right there. We got some more shit that we about to throw on, right? So, Jake, you claim that Mr. Hoover is a snitch, right? You know what I'm saying? With your country cowboy looking ass, your country bunking. But what we got here, man, we got the guy. I forgot how long ago it was for this video. Let me pull it up real quick. This is the man who shot Larry Hoover right here. What y'all think he finna say, man? Y'all think he finna say, oh man, that nigga Larry told on me. I couldn't believe it. I went to trial, right? Wrong. Let's listen to what Mr. James Highsmith has to say about Larry Hoover.
Get into that, Dad. Let's just go ahead and confront the actual your claim to fame of the allegations of shooting Larry Hoover. What do you have to say about that? Your claim to fame.
Let me say that this man think that my claim to shame is to shooting a young 18-year-old Larry Hoover when I was 18 years old. Brother, you vastly mistaken. That's my claim to shame. That I shot a guy who turned out to be one of the most hell of a dudes in this city.
What? One of the most hell of a dudes in this city? Hold on, let me try to get that back.
To be one of the most hell of a dudes in this city.
Let me ask y'all this question, man. Hit me in this comment section real quick. Let me ask y'all this question. Do you talk like this about a snitch? One hell of a dude. How the fuck are you a hell of a dude if you snitched on me, right? Matter of fact, I'm finna just replay the whole thing of Mr. Highsmith, the guy who ran up in the school, blah, 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 shot down Larry Hoover and 2 other students. Let's listen to him.
Before we get into that, Dad, let's just go ahead and confront the actual your claim to fame of the allegations of shooting Larry Hoover. What do you have to say about that? Your claim to fame.
Let me say that this man think that my claim to shame is to shooting a young 18-year-old Larry Hoover when I was 18 years old. Brother, you vastly mistaken. That's my claim to shame. That I shot a guy who turned out to be one of the most hell of a dudes in this city. And let's go to that. We so much into trying to destroy one another that
before we get
all right, so that's a short video. It's gonna keep on looping, man. All right, man. Look, how many people you know gonna say that they op is a hell of a man? I mean, real niggas will say that shit about real killers. Oh man, that's a real dude right there. But if a nigga snitch on you, you ain't finna say that shit about a nigga who snitched on you. Man, 1090 steak, eggs, and fries. Let me tell you something, man. Why you didn't show this video? What is your beef with Mr. Hoover? I don't get it. Why didn't you show this video? You made it seem like that newspaper article was legitimate paperwork, and you the paperwork king, right? You the paperwork queen around this motherfucker. I'm gonna start calling them the paperwork fucking queen, man. This nigga might as well just hook up with what's her name, Mickey Truth or some shit, bro. The paperwork queen. You know what I'm saying? Because how the fuck are you the king of the paperwork and you pop up with a news article from back in 1960 something, and everybody know that the police said David Barksdale told on some stones. And they also said that Larry Hoover told on Mr. Highsmith. Here go Mr. Highsmith right here. So I can almost guarantee you that the newspaper in Chicago was putting out propaganda against Larry Hoover and David Barksdale, right? I seen a whole lot of BDs in the comment section too, talking about, you know what I'm saying, Larry Hoover snitched, Larry Hoover snitched. Nigga, King David snitched. If that's how y'all want to go about proving somebody snitched, newspapers, right? King David snitched as well, according to the newspaper. But we all know that that ain't true because this guy right here, Highsmith, he admits it in another video, and I'm finna play that video for y'all, right? Because guess what? Mr. Highsmith called on Whack 100. He called on Whack 100, y'all. And he talked to Whack 100 because he wanted everybody to know exactly that 1090 Jake was a fake ass nigga that don't like Larry Hoover and the GDs. I thought it was just King Yeller. Like I said earlier, right? I made a video about this shit, and I said, I can guarantee you some GDs beat his ass before. I can guarantee you that. He was into it with him. Come to find out he was. So here go Whack 100 talking to the man who shot Larry Hoover Mr. James Highsmith, and they get into some real details. He asks him, more than what he just said in that video that I just showed you guys. Whack 100, he always got to know everything. And I didn't like Whack 100 until I found out this, man, especially with that shit he tried to pull with Larry Hoover over his life rights, right? Talking all of that shit, blah, 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 blah. I guess somebody got in tune with this dude, man. Somebody got in tune with Whack 100 because this whole, everything changed about Larry Hoover. He ain't talking that shit like he was talking about with that documentary. So let's listen to James Highsmith and Whack 100 hold the conversation.
Got to deal with Trump.
Oh, shit, what the hell is this? Nigga, this ain't what I'm talking about. I am talking about Trump a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? Because Trump did something for Mr. Hoover. But let's listen to Whack.
Don't need to hear it. I ain't never going against the queen. And let's let it rip. All right, so listen, let this be clear.
Yup. That's the Whack 100 and 1090 Jake. Yeah, they both are informants, bro. You ain't lying about that. Let me pull this comment up to the screen. You ain't lying about that, bro. They are both informants.
In this shooting that happened with Larry Hoover, where people are running around with the narrative that Larry Hoover told on these individuals. So I'm gonna let the brother speak and tell me if there's some truth to that, no truth to that. My disposition is newspaper article is not looked at as legal documents, so I've been standing against it. So I'm gonna let the brother speak, let y'all know who he is. We all see the names that was posted on the internet about the shooters, and he gonna tell us what his facts of how this situation went, what they are. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, my name is James Highsmith. I was the shooter cause it's not alleged. I did do the shooting and I did serve time in prison. But it wasn't at the behest of Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover never told me. Matter of fact, it was over 100 people in the hallway, so there wasn't no way everybody knew I did it.
Now, I want to make that part clear. Out the gate, the shooter, Mr. James Highsmith, just said it was a bunch of people in the hallway. Larry Hoover never told on him. Let's keep it rolling.
They didn't need Larry Hoover to tell. First of all, and secondly, and more importantly, is that it wasn't the whole narrative that the newspaper had and a lot of people was repeating in a lot of books never did happen like that. And as long as he wasn't with me, he was down the hallway. And nobody tell me to burn that man. Two girls came and told me that they was coming down there to jump on me, but I could have left, and I had a pistol, so I waited for him. And that's what happened.
Okay. He said the other individual that was named in the newspaper article, where they said he told James burn Larry Hoover, said that never happened. Dude was way down the hallway somewhere. He said two girls told him they called Larry and them to come jump on him. So instead of leaving, he had a pistol, so he waited on them to show up. And when they showed up, he got busy. Let's keep it going. Got you. So y'all had y'all personal issues regardless of what it was. You was the shooter. It was a bunch of people in the hallway that probably gave description or probably knew who you was or saw whatever it was they saw. But with you fighting the case, Larry Hoover was never a name that cooperated against you, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that plus he couldn't have never cooperated with me because I already pleaded out. You know, and the paperwork is that Larry Hoover never made a statement, period.
Now, he further goes on to say, Larry Hoover never made a statement on him, period, and he pleaded out.
Wasn't no statement there. Let's keep it rolling. Again, supporting what I thought happened, that with this whole newspaper article, they putting what they want to put in there. Remember, man, like information to tear you down. They try to do it to me every day. If I wasn't a strong individual I was, I'd have been ran off the internet. But listen, my support system, my mental, it don't matter. Let's keep it rolling.
That's what your paperwork read.
My paper wasn't no statement made by Larry Hoover, so it wasn't that no paperwork period.
Got you. Got you. Now, another thing is, because I'm gonna be real, brother, because this is dangerous waters for me, but I feel like I got a platform and I've done time before. So when I see things and hear things, especially when we're speaking about somebody such as Mr. Hoover, who is who he is, who is a pillar, who is part of this foundation of what we call blackness, right? From where it came from, what it was, and what it is today. I use my platform to fight back. Now I get a lot of backlash because they say, "Yo, Wack, this Chicago business, a GD business. Why are you speaking on it?" I said, "Well, I'm speaking on it in defense of the brother, right? If I didn't speak on it and let people run amok with it, you know, ain't no telling how big the lie or the fire might grow." So I'm speaking to you because you are, I consider my triple OG, one of my elders, right? I'm pretty sure you had conversations with your people. Is there any issues with how I've been handling this situation?
Actually, I'm not aware of anything, but I just appreciated that you were saying that if this happened over 57 years ago. Two young men. I was 18 and he was 18. We was caught up in the times and the events, and it wasn't no real animosity towards him and I, because him and I grew up together. But the fact of the matter is that people are using things that happened that they weren't born, they wasn't around, they didn't know anything about, and they had their own meanings and ideas, whatever their motives are, ulterior motives are, it still don't reach the fact that it's affecting true history, and it's affecting the fact that this man has spent over 52 years in prison, and if he ain't cracked before then, what makes you think he cracked back then?
So what he's saying is this. Let's pay attention to Larry Hoover's character.
Right.
If he ain't cracked in the last 52 years and told on a bunch of people to free himself out of prison, what makes you think he was cracked? Because he gonna snitch because he got shot, right? He's saying the man was known for standing on this gangster. Now, in his up-and-coming conversation, I'm gonna ask him if he ran into Larry Hoover. What happened after the fact? Because it was 18 when this happened. I don't know. Larry Hoover didn't go to the penitentiary till 5-6 years later. He went to jail and got out. But he also ran into Larry Hoover in the penitentiary. So what we have established is that Larry Hoover's, the one that shot him, is saying Larry gave no statements. Larry did not tell on him. The other dude never told him to burn Larry. Two chicks let him know Larry was coming up to the school to jump him. He had a pistol, so he waited. 1968. Nigga James was strapped. You hear me? Y'all, I bet not hear none of this. Lil Durk started this gangster shit.
Right,
Nigga.
right.
James was strapped in 68 at the high school, homie.
James Highsmith is a gangster.
They finna come holler at me. I'm strapped. Probably had him a 32, 5.6 shot. You know what I'm saying? A little rust on it, a little tape on the handle, but he was ready. Let's keep it rolling.
It's a fact.
He's been fighting for his right for 52 years. He's been a stand-up, strong, powerful young man that is inspiration to a lot of people, including myself. So I'm telling this to say this, that to build the man up, to build up crazy stuff, you understand, black people that's our duty, because this man, our leaders was born. We didn't appoint our leaders. We're not going to allow no one else to appoint our leaders. He was born our leader. And what we have to do is we have to support it. And propaganda.
I wish it was clearer audio, man, but that's James Highsmith on the phone.
And what they do is they destroy them.
So I'm glad Wack talking over it, saying what he's saying.
So what we have to do is, as black men and as brothers and sisters who have been in the struggle out here, have been struggling from the beginning. It don't make no difference with you a Stone, Disciple, Vice Lord, Blood, Crip, or whatever. We was all in the same boat. And the fact of the matter is, man, this man right here should be honored just for the fact that he survived this.
No, that's a fact.
He survived this. He done took a hit all the way around. I mean, losing, wasn't around for his mother's death, wasn't around for his brother's death, wasn't around to raise his children. And you gonna tell me that we as a people, I wouldn't give a damn what it is. He earns his space in history as one of the strongest brothers in Chicago.
Now, once again, shout out to Hip Hop Council, 1999 Super Chat. Shout out to my man TJ, 49.99 Super Chat. So one more y'all out there. I missed you, but I'm going to find him and give you a shout out. So now, he's pretty much saying Larry Hoover should be commended, honored, and respected for his struggles and the things that he's done for the city of Chicago. And by right, he's one of the top people in Chicago that people should honor. Let's keep it going. That's a fact. I respect that. I salute that. The brother on the phone, again, this is the brother that was one of the shooters who did time, right, for that incident with Larry Hoover back in 1968, I believe it was. And he's saying he pled out. Larry Hoover never gave a statement. It was a bunch of people in the hallway. It was at a high school. So that never.
I believe that it was the first school shooting on the book.
Yo, not only is James, what's his name again, baby? Highsmith. Not only at 18 in 1968. What? They coming to jump me? I'm not going nowhere. I'm strapped. Not only was he ready in 68, James Highsmith is claiming, I did the first high school shooting. Only I was defending myself. I didn't come up there.
No, this ain't Wallace Gator.
This
This is James Highsmith, the man who shot Larry Hoover on the phone with Wack.
A lot of y'all may say, why he didn't squabble up? Hey, listen, back in them days, them niggas was playing with knives, brass knuckles, bumper jacks, crowbars. Listen, the girl said, 2 niggas coming up here to get you, James. James said, I ain't running nowhere. Nigga, I got this trusty 32, and I'm popping something out if you come up here playing with me.
He was
and
a gangster.
Now he claiming that the first school shooting happened in Chicago. Was Shy Rack that in 68? Let's keep listening. Yo, you know what? You might.
May I correct one thing?
Yes, sir.
He wasn't one of the shooters. He was the shooter.
Oh, so it was only one shooter.
They speak of is Leonard Longstreet. He was down. He was in the school, but it wasn't there. And he didn't do a thing, Jack.
So you the only one who went to jail?
I'm the only one our case got settled, and the reason that he was able to get acquitted was that he was not at the scene when the shooter was shot. He was down the hallway, and he didn't never shoot nobody.
So once again, we got a newspaper article, again, that's trying to sway everybody to something that's further away from the truth. This is why I was telling them I can't stand on that newspaper article. It's not a legal document to me. You know how we've been watching the mob. We watched the mob for years pay people off. You know what I mean? So the story read the way they wanted it to read. So I'm glad we clearing that up. It was one shooter. That's the brother on the phone now. The other gentleman didn't do a day in jail that they mentioned it. He's the one that went to prison, did the time, and Larry Hoover never gave a statement against him. He copped out, took a plea.
That's what I did.
How much time did you do for this? I'm listening.
They gave me 1 to 5 years of me being a damn fool. I did 4 years and 6 months. The only reason I didn't do the whole 5 years is they came up with a new law of 93 6 months release.
Got you. Now, this nigga James, what's his last name, baby?
Highsmith, nigga. Highsmith.
Highsmith. You like that, don't you? James Highsmith. Hey, he was a gangster.
Y'all drop some comments, man. Drop some comments.
Let me keep this playing because I just said he was a gangster. And we just pointed out that the newspaper said the other dude told him to burn him and he was charged, which in fact he was not charged. That's a lie. He never told him to burn him, never told him to do a day in jail. Now let me let y'all hear what else the newspaper lied about because I don't think he was a gangster. Stay tuned.
Hey, Mike, let me say this right quick. The brother on the phone and the brother they talking about in the paper that told him to shoot, that brother couldn't have told him nothing. He was his own man then at 18, and he had his own followers. He couldn't have told him to shoot nobody. This man on the phone we speaking of now is a real legend in Chicago, and he's part of a program now that helps the brothers in the street, school, helps them do a lot of things. So he came full circle in his life, and he's somebody I look up to tremendously. I love Larry with all my heart.
Well, I'll tell you what, brother.
The article is so long. I have never been a member of the East Side Disciples. Never.
The man just said he was never a member of the East Side Disciples. Now, to some of you bozos who asked to come to my podcast, who asked to come sit down with me in the 22ster, pay attention. Wack is going to try a tactic. Watch what the OG do to me. I'm going to try to get it out of him. He say he wasn't part of the East Side Disciples, so we want to know what you was a part of. Watch his play.
That's an FBI question, Wack. You back to the feds.
I was never a member of the disciples, period.
Got you. OG, he said, I'm telling you what I wasn't a member of. I ain't going to tell you what I was a member of. I fuck with OG. Yeah. Hey, that's the way you supposed to handle that. You get what I'm saying? We gonna ask. If you answer, that's on you. The OG is teaching you. This is the real OG right here. And I'm going to tell you, I'm just not calling him that because he waited around and popped Larry Hoover. I'm not calling him that because he went and did 4.5 off 5. I'm not calling him that because he here clearing up Larry Hoover, although they was ops. I'm going to let you continue to listen to him speak and let him hear and tell you what it really is today and what happened when he came face to face with Larry Hoover.
What's that word, family?
No, but I'll tell you this, brother. I got your direct phone number. I want to tap in because I hear you got an organization to see how we can tap in. We got diaper companies, Incredible Diapers, which is our diaper company, partnered with Floyd Mayweather, Nick Cannon. So I don't know if you got, teen mothers or mothers up there that maybe need some assistance. We can ship some of those
Shameless
things
plug
up there.
by Wack
And let's
100,
just
man.
lock
He out
in,
here
bro,
trying to
because as of
shameless
now,
plug his shit,
every
his
time we hear
diapers.
something about
What's the word,
Chicago,
family?
it's about a
Yep.
rapper,
What's the
somebody
word,
got
man? I'm
killed,
chilling,
this,
man.
and that. I know it's
Trying to
way
get this
more to it
shit
than
situated.
just that. So let's lock in. I got a few brothers, JoJo Capone and my brother Promise, that I've dealt with over the years. But let's expand the growth and lock in so we can all share each other resources, man, and educate one another, because even on this phone now, it's growth. I got my comrade who's from Insane Crip who called me with the brother on the phone. from up top who got you on the phone. So it's even working now. This is how it's supposed to work.
Right. To give myself a little, I'm James Highsmith. I'm the director of Project Violence Prevention Program right now today.
Now let me ask you a question. Have you spoken to Larry Hoover since your incident? Have you guys ever ran into each other?
Since basketball almost every day in Stateville.
So you did time with him?
In jail. And every time you got a chance through his white window, what have you, I get messages. And I also had the privilege to talk to him since he's been locked down.
There it goes there. So not only did he shoot Larry Hoover because they was coming to rush him, he did his time, maxed out, right? Now he doubles back and lets it be known the man that was his op did not tell on him. He could have let the lie live. Now he lets us know he has an organization in Chicago helping the youth, helping the community, and him and Larry Hoover ran into each other in the penitentiary in the later years.
Yes, they did.
And how did they deal with it? They played basketball together against each other.
Yep.
And since he's been home, he has spoken to Larry Hoover on the phone. So face to face, wasn't no more violence. Larry probably realized, nigga, we was coming to get you and you did what you had to do. And now all these years later, because they kept their friendship and their respect intact, this man, he didn't have to do nothing. He's 70-something too. He could have laid back. This man found a way through my comrade, Big Faye from Long Beach Insane, to get a hold of me, to try to clear, not to try to clear Mr. Hoover's name. Let's keep it going. Don't get no better than that. Man, I appreciate your time, Big Faye. I appreciate you as always, comrade. And I tell a lot of y'all, I met Big Faye on the battlefield.
All right, I'm just gonna stop the video right there, man. Whack 100, because you know, I really don't fuck with Whack 100 because of what he did with the Larry Hoover alleged life story that he said he had and all of that shit. You know, Whack 100 always got some shit. But yeah, shout out to you, brother. Of course, it ain't just with these brothers. It's with Martin Luther King. It's with Malcolm X, man. You know what I'm saying? They always try to throw some shit on our black leaders to make them look less than what they are, man. And that's, you know, stand-up guys, real stand-up guys, man. So shout out to Whack 100 for this one. But we ain't forgot about all that other shit you did, Whack. We definitely ain't forgot about it, man. Because guess what? You are still under investigation because we believe you got some FBI friends that let you know shit and you let them know shit. But I don't know how true that is. So I'm going to say allegedly Whack 100 is a fair. But, you know, shout out to James Highsmith for reaching out to Whack 100 because you know why? Because he could have let the shit go. Like he said, how many niggas you know that honor they ops and especially honor an op that snitched on them, man? You know? All right, so what you say, bro? Majority of the former founders is changed their life for the better. Of course, man. Yeah, majority of them, all of them, I believe, man. You can't be 70 years old not changing your life. You know what I'm saying? So all of them changed their life, man, especially Mr. Hoover. Mr. Hoover been changed his life. Mr. Hoover been looking through a different set of glasses when it came down to Chicago and what's going on in the city, man. He tried to transition a street organization into a political party, just like Mayor Daley's daddy. Let's not forget the mayor of Chicago, Mayor Daley, and his son was also the mayor of Chicago, man. You know what I'm saying? But he got his political ties through gangs, through the streets, man. So the white man can do it, but if the black man do it, it's an issue, right? And we got this fat ass white boy, 1090 steak, eggs, and fries out here talking shit about Larry. like I said before, man, it was cool when you was talking shit about Yellow, man. You know, you can talk shit about Yellow. He's in the news. He's in the media. I talk shit about Yellow, but I love him. I ain't gonna lie. I love King Yellow, man. I want nothing but the best for King Yellow. That's my homie, man. He shouted me out a couple of times, but when he do some goofy shit, I put him out there, man. I put it out there, man. I ain't gonna lie. I do it a lot, man. A lot of YouTubers then hit me up and said, bro, why you talking about me jazzy like this? And I say, bro, you said the shit, nigga. You said the shit. So of course I had to talk about it. But man, Wack 100 did an interview with James Highsmith, the person who shot Larry Hoover, man. And he loves Larry Hoover. You know what I'm saying? The nigga who shot him love him. He said, man, I did the wrongest shit I could have ever did in my life by shooting Mr. Larry Hoover, man. What you say, bro? Oh, God. Queen Yellow's name on Valentine's Day. That did it for me. All right, yeah. You know, King Yellow, he's a weirdo. I can't lie, man. But shout out to Yellow, man. You know, at least he doing so. I seen that shit too, man. Yeah, he was definitely naked, man. King Yellow's a weirdo, man. You know, but he got love and support for Larry Hoover, so that's why I support him, man. But I want y'all to take a look at what we just seen, man. We seen the white boy in the first video totally discredit 1090 steak, eggs, and fries, right? Then we saw the video, which 1090 Jake could have got a hold of if he wanted to, but he didn't want to because he got a beef with the GDs and he think Mr. Larry Hoover is something to be played with. You know what I'm saying? So something got to happen, right? Yeah, you right, bro. You know what I'm saying? TTM, ENT, man. Free Larry and Jeff. Free all of the guys, man. Those are all our guys. Those are all our people, man. We all look up to those guys, man. But look, I'm about to get the hell up out of here, man. Y'all, man, y'all just use your head when it comes to this shit. 1090 Jake, he didn't want to use his head. He just wanted to make some content. You know, I made a video as soon as I saw that article, that newspaper article, and I said, Larry Hoover is falsely being accused of snitching, man. I already knew it. I already knew Highsmith Ben came out. I heard it from the horse's mouth. Highsmith Ben came out. He been saying this. This ain't nothing new. This is new to Jake. You know what I'm saying? Fat ass white boy let a GD beat on his ass for 30 whole minutes in a jail cell. Nigga, how could you let a nigga beat on you for 30 minutes in a jail? He got tired, sat down, drunk some water, got right back to beating on your fat white steak, eggs, motherfucking pickle, pulled pork eating ass, bro. You goofy motherfucker. Learn some facts, man. I used to think that Jake was just a little bit different. I said, man, this white boy, he bringing out paperwork, man. You can't go against that. You can't go against the paperwork. But when you bring up a newspaper article from the 60s, bro, come on, man. Come on, from the 60s. Them newspaper people, they didn't like Larry Hoover. So they didn't like David Barksdale. They like this man just said, James Highsmith. He said they tried the same shit with David. Put him in the newspaper saying he snitched on some stones. Man, get the information correct. Now your ass is in some deep trouble. And like I said before, I hope the family of Larry Hoover sue you. I hope the family sues you, bro. And take your channel, man. Matter of fact, excuse me. I want to call for everybody that's watching this video to strike that video down, man. I normally don't do that. I never do that, man. Hood educated Ben saying that shit. He been telling, strike this video down, strike that video down. Hood educated, man. So I want everybody to strike that fucking video down, man. If you know what I'm saying, if you know how to do that, it's really easy to get a video struck in, took down. We're gonna take this nigga channel, man. All brothers of the struggle coming from all corners of the world, not just GDs, because we all are living in the struggle. I'm talking about the Vice Lords. I'm talking about the Blackstones, the L. Rookins, the Latin Kings. If you from Chicago, or if you got roots to Chicago, get that video struck down. Get that nigga off the internet, man. He really did it this time. I'll be back later. More news, more commentary. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Low from the go, man. Low from the motherfucking go. Peace.